Okay. We are live. And it's MWO Comp. This evening, I'm joined by Seabiscuit 228. Gonna be helping cast.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
So
this is a step up for me.
This is your second comp cast after trying it out last night. Have you been doing much streaming prior to that, or?
I've done some MechWarrior Online, League of Legends, Magic the Gathering, actually, but not competitive-wise.
Okay. Well, you seemed to have fun with it last night, so should be a good
blast.
So this should be fun. This evening we are doing North America Div C. Cameron's Highlanders Claymore Squad versus Aces Wild. Cameron's gets the home team slot.
Yeah, this is going to be a good match in my opinion.
Do you have any experience with either of the squads you want to share?
Sure. Yeah, I was actually, I've scrimmed against, let me see. When I say I mean 228 Death from Above. I actually did some scrims with Cameron's Highlanders prior to this season starting. And I believe we played against Aces Wild last season. So I do have some knowledge of both teams and what they're capable of. So I think it's actually going to be a pretty even fight as far as their teams.
Okay. Used to dropping Faction Warfare with Aces Wild, and have scrimmed with them in a couple comp seasons. They are an effective unit. They've got good unit cohesion when they play, so also got to see Cameron's Highlanders last season of Battle for Midway. They seem very effective on the field, so yeah, I agree. This should be a good matchup tonight. So we're going to get to see them play on 3 different maps. For week 1, drop 1's going to be on Canyon Network. Then we switch to Mining Collective for drops 2 and 3. Then we do a map ban to determine what the drops are going to be for 4 and 5. In addition to the comp action, I have been given some MC codes to give away throughout the evening. If stream view counts get high enough, we have both Battletech and MechWarrior 5 to give away. In order to win anything, you're going to have to be a follower of the channel. So I am going to be checking that when we do the giveaways. So at this point, actually, I'm going to go quiet for just a moment. I'm communicating with the team leaders.
Yeah, while you're going quiet there, I do want to give a shout out to Cameron's Highlanders. Give us a very nice information sheet here before the stream. They actually gave it to us, I believe, last night with just their specifics on a few of their strategies going into today, as well as facts prior to this match between the two teams. So it's going to help definitely with the casting. I wish every team would do this.
Yeah, they get all the internet points for tonight. Definitely. I mean, this even goes down to what My Little Pony each of their players identify as, so, I mean, this is just awesome.
Yeah, Orbit Rain's choice was definitely one that Uh, that was peculiar to me, but we'll go from some. We'll see how this plays out. So.
Okay, so I have word captains are forming the lobbies up. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time to people. This is first time I've streamed in quite a while. Last time really was end of Battle for Midway. I'm extremely rusty. We've got a whole bunch of different tools than what we've used in the past, so I'm still feeling these out. Expect mistakes. Hopefully there won't be any radio casts. But we'll see how things roll. If you see something wrong, scream at me in chat. If you see something you like, make noise in chat. There is a best dressed mech contest going on. So screenshots. If you see a mech that looks mighty fetching and you want to vote for it, get some screenshots. I see an invite. I'm betting that's for a lobby. So should be an interesting evening.
Yeah, I'm in here waiting for you.
And I accepted the invite, and nothing happened. Thanks, PGI. I can't bag on PGI too bad, considering we've got a copy of MechWarrior 5 to give away, so... Yeah, we may joke, but we're also all here either participating or watching, so can't rag on them too badly.
Yeah, they actually bugged in the lobby, so they're sending you another invite.
Oh, yep, just got it. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay. And good, looks like Cameron's got everyone already in. Excellent. I like seeing organization. All right, so... You know, it probably would have been nice if I had shared a link with you. So I'm actually going to... While we wait for them to get the lobby built and going, what do you say we go over the map?
All right, we can do that.
So I sent you a link so you can be on the same map strat as me. First drop is not Polar Highlands. Don't panic. Okay, Alpine Peaks. Canyon Network, there we go. See, this is why I have help. Because I'm looking at the BAM list, and the man in control is looking at the week 1 drop list and paying better attention. So, Canyon Network, they only get 1 try on this. Cameron's Highlanders will be Team 1. Aces Wild will be Team 2. And unlike Battle for Midway, this is 8v8, and we're doing a full 5 cap, not the 3 cap, like we got used to last season. This means a lot more of the map is in play. Should make for more interesting gameplay. More units on the...
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, it kind of felt like, at least in the lower divisions, the 3 cap, it really turned into a brawl generally around one of the cap points, and then you'd scramble to get the other two. I'm hoping to see a lot more map control range from all the divisions this time around, but see what happens. As we established last season, whatever I predict, typically wrong.
Let's talk about the first drop here. Normally, in every other competitive season that we played so far, the first drop is typically the lightest drop. MRBC was 4 lights and 4 mediums, and Battle for Midway, it was just straight up the lightest tonnage limit allowed. Flipping that around on this game, this is actually the heaviest drop for the night.
Yeah, which I like. It's fun to bring the fatties out sometime and just go romper stomper. And making them do full conquest means that you can't just be all 35 kph annihilators.
Right. So, taking a look here, I think they're just about ready for the drop.
Okay, so
it looks like Cameron's Highlanders is locked, and Ace of Wild is actually here.
All right. Are you ready if they push the button?
I am ready.
All right, I'll let them know we're good. And now the fun part, waiting to see who gets the best window seat in the drop ship. Once they've got that sorted, we have fun. No, Bob, you're a little light, 625. For those that can't see it, because I normally don't show the lobby, so we've got a little bit of suspense as to who drops where. Some discussion going as to what the tonnage is for the drop.
So it is 575 to 625, so 575 is an allowed tonnage limit.
We've also got a little bit of inside pool, because Cameron Highlanders, again with this lovely fact sheet, are telling us they're intentionally dropping 30 tons underweight because they want to bring some maneuverability to the map. They're going for cap control. And they're expecting Aces Wild to do a brawly death ball. So we'll see if that prediction pans out. Loading screen is up. We're going to be in shortly. Alright, let's see if I can remember map controls. I should be over on Aces Wild's side.
Yep, I'm over on Cameron's Highlander's side right now.
Alright, so Aces Wild have brought Warhammer, Warhawk, Fafnir, Mad Cat 2B, Arctic Wolf, Quick Draw, Arctic Wolf, Mad Cat 2B, so only 2 quick mechs, really.
Yeah, but those mechs normally, other than the Warhawk that they're bringing, are normally seen as good mechs to brawl with or get close enough to brawl with. Mad Cat 2Bs being DACA, Arctic Wolves. Arctic Wolf 1 is normally a nice SRM mech. Cameron Highlanders over here, they're also bringing the IV4, a Hellbringer, Annihilator, a Spider 5V, a couple of Supernovas, and Grasshopper and a Blood Asp. So it looks like they're going to try and use that Spider to really take control of all the capture points and use some of these longer range mechs like the Annihilator and Grasshopper to really take control of the map.
So David Frace's Wild went for a quick cap on Epsilon ahead of his mass. Cameron's has got a nice concave going. Spider, Tiger Lily is going to try and decap, but Aces has shown up with their mass, so he wisely got off there. So as Cameron's predicted, Aces is pretty much in a death ball. As we fight over at Epsilon, Spider was able to get it to stop counting tickets, but didn't get it switched over to Cameron's side. Strikes are out. We've had a couple UAVs up already, going for early intel. And right now, it's a trading match.
Yeah, bringing those supernovas in, those are 6 AR large supernovas. They're going to be able to out-trade Aces Wild against their really only one trading mech, which is a Warhawk. So if you look at Not Bob is already almost down in that Madcat 2B, and the Davik and the IV4, they're both just taking a beating, and that strike just did a whole bunch of damage around Not Bob.
Yeah, Aces really needs to either commit or fall back and pick a different strategy. They're not trading effect. Well, okay, so I start to say that they managed to isolate out Ivorich. I think that was a positioning mistake on his part.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But at this point, I think the momentum is still Cameron's side. Looking at the damages, that strike is going to catch the Annihilator. Does a good job on him. Not Bob is not looking good. He really needs to back off at this point. Let Alex get up there and start taking damage.
Yeah, Not Bob is actually down to 1 Ultra 5 now. So effectively neutered as a assault mech.
Try and get a little bit higher view here. You can see it's really just a stagnant trading line. Meanwhile, we've got the lights off, just kind of chasing each other around. I'm going to stay focused on the mass here for now.
Yeah, so the lights actually split apart from each other, so they're actively avoiding a fight.
So, I said that the momentum was on Cameron's side. Aces Wild is continuing to prove me wrong by pushing these heavily beat up mechs in and getting kills. Yeah,
so I'm still going to say it's in favor of Cameron's Highlanders here. They have superior positioning, and there goes Not Bob.
Yep.
But their 2 supernovas, which are probably the highest DPS mechs they have right now, are still completely fresh.
Clutch is about to get popped. He can't get out of there in time. No.
Yeah, and there goes the only real long-range trading mech for Aces Wild.
Dave, Tiger moving in and getting some back shots. Might get Davik.
That's good.
Going in there just looking for open components.
So taking a look here.
Fafnir drops.
Having the articles not be in the fight with such a high DPS mech, yeah, they are paper thin, but I think they have the highest alpha out of most of the mechs on their team. Just having them not be effective in the fight probably push Aces Wild to the loss here.
Yeah, and the worst part is they're not in the fight, and they're also not getting the caps. Now, okay, so they're back up to 3 caps, but they're still behind on tickets. For as long as they were out of the fight, they should not be down on tickets. Alex drops. It's down to just the Arctic Wolves now.
Yeah. So it looks like we have one headed to Gamma. One's actually trying to run away from Deriku and his IV4 and Candyman in the Grasshopper. But it's kind of hard to run straight out of the range of the ER largest, though.
Yeah. The only saving grace of being chased by a quick draw is that MRM can't focus.
That's correct. So, and there we go with the Spider already on Sigma and already turned that cap point over. It's on its way to Kappa. So this Cameron's Highlanders they're not going to be in pressure of losing by caps here. As they've got this match on lock already, in my opinion.
Agreed. Cameron's is doing well, recovering on caps. They've never been in trouble. Oh, Caleron does manage to get the Grasshopper, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
No, and there's where I said the Articles would have been effective in the fight. One alpha from that Article just took out that Grasshopper. And now Derek is actually probably going to lose his fight to Silent Noble in the Article over near Gamma. So I just don't think they have enough time to kill the rest of the mechs if they're able to do so.
This was well played by Cameron's.
I agree. And I believe they ended up winning the match because of their prediction.
Agreed. I give Derek Q credit for hanging on this long. That Arctic Wolf should be able to focus a little bit better than those MRMs, but he has not been able to put him down yet. 43% and hurting.
Yeah, it looks like Callan Firestar actually bit the dust on his way to Epsilon as well.
So I missed that. The Spider's now coming in to try and assist. Derek's just preventing the cap from flipping, doing exactly what he needs to.
Yeah, and Silent Noble finally takes him out.
It was inevitable, but Dereku did his job and held him off. At this point, 662 to 443 with no caps on Ace's side. It's over.
Yeah, even if he gets 4 capture points back, which I don't even see physically possible, he's going to be losing the game.
They have resource point Gamma.
Long range AC fire coming in from the distance.
And the supernovas are still effective over there near Radio Tower where they were originally positioned.
Yeah, it's an effective spot. You can hit most areas of the map from there, as I'm being taught in practice. Okay, so first match goes to Cameron's. So I'm going to do some quick bookkeeping.
So looking at the damages here, Lord Archon, 788 damage with his Blood Asp. I'm not sure what he had on it. Also, Derek, who's 790 damage with the IV4 with those MRMs. Even Tiger Lily with the Spider doing almost 300 damage. So that's a lot of damage for a Spider.
Yeah. Especially what, 2 medium lasers and that's it?
That's it. Apparently that's all you need. So.
Alright, so I'll let them get their next lobby figured out. Jump back. So we're now switching to domination on mining, I believe. So yes, this is drops 2 and 3 will be domination. The teams are gonna both get a chance to try each side of the map. 350 to 375 tons, so this is the lightest drop, potentially. Drop 4 and 5 just have a max, not a min, so, I mean, you could do an all-light rush, I suppose. I wouldn't recommend it. Oh, no, I take that back, 3 per class, so this is why I'm not a ref.
It is to note the 3 per class is only on the drops 4 and 5.
Yep.
So you could have 6 light mechs on this drop if you like to. However, you do have a minimum tonnage that you have to meet. That's 350 tons.
So while they get themselves sorted, the nice thing is it's basically just a map change and mode change. We don't have to flip around players in the lobby. While they're doing that, as I noted, we've been given some new tools this year. If we've got them in. That loaded. So I'm going to switch us over to stats overview for that last match. Let's give us a little bit more detail. You can now see KMDDs, assists, along with kills, etc. And also, for those who like to keep track, team damage. This tool is put together by Red Imp, and it's a nice way to summarize a game. This tool is open for others to use, so if you want to keep track of your team's practices and results and have a nice way to look at them, this tool is it. If it's not linked to off the Twitch page, hit me up on the MWO Comp Discord. I'll get the link there, and I'll see if I can get it linked off the Twitch page as well.
This tool is fantastic. I've been using it in practices myself.
Yeah, it's a bunch of us, when PGI first announced the API, were figuring out how to do this in Google Sheets. And a bunch of teams now have some very cool Google Sheets that are driven by this API. But it's not pretty to put up on a stream. This is gorgeous.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So
going back to the drop here, they're, I believe Orbit Rain has locked Cameron's Highlanders, and we may just about to be starting in on drop 2.
Okay. I'm going to bring the map up real quick, just... No, I'm not, because, well, I'll have that up, and then we get a couple minutes before we kick in. So, as noted, Mining Collective, Domination. Everyone should be familiar with this map and mode.
Yeah, so the biggest thing to note about this map, the differences between Team 1 side and Team 2 side. For those that didn't know, Team 2 side, on the center building, the center platform that's there in the green circle, you actually have vision of the very top of that from Team 2's high points. So if they're going to take a control strategy of like PPCs or lasers or something like that, they actually have open viewports to most of the areas on that, whereas Team 1 does not. So there is probably the largest difference from the two sides.
And dropships are coming in. Switch over.
Fleet command coming in.
Alright, so I am once again on Ace's side. We've got a Bushwhacker, Assassin, Piranha, Linebacker, Piranha, Assassin, Warhammer, and another Linebacker. That feels brawly to me.
Feels very brawly. And Cameron's Highlanders is responding in kind with the Brawl deck. I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's a Black Knight on Cameron's Highlanders team.
Which, according to their fabulous notes they gave us, they've done on purpose. They really have liked the Black Knight 7. Between armor quirks, 9 medium pulses, they feel it's effective. So they've both gone up the same line, up the ramps, and are just smashing into each other at the circle. Cameron's backing off, Ace's going high.
Yeah, looks like Average actually is having an issue there. He went straight in on top of Theta, and with the linebackers and assassins from Ace's Wild, they were able to beat the rest of Cameron's Highlanders there. And 46% is what that Wolfhound's down to now, almost effectively dead.
Derekou's getting brave, coming up, poking on the sides in his quick draw.
Overrain is actually taking a pretty decent position with his hunchback.
Yeah, that is a nice control spot. Interesting to see it's a pulse hunch instead of a PPC punch.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot here in Mining Collective. It's very good at brawling. You can fit a whole lot of heat sinks on the mech. And with it having such high energy hard points, you can actually pop start with the medium pulses still.
So I'm liking what Aces is doing here. They've gotten up to the top. They've set themselves up, so they've mostly got cover from Orbit's Overwatch. Cameron's doesn't have any other Overwatch mechs in position, and they're basically just waiting for Cameron's to do something. Putting the onus on them. Well, okay, so I don't like where the Foo's going, and he pays for sticking his head out there. Cameron's is getting the occasional pot shots in.
So it looks like Ace's Wild is actually moving in on Derekou.
Yep. 4 of them have dropped off the side now. 5. Yeah, here they come. They're dropping off the side. They're going to try and collapse this. And I assume roll up and around. Derekou drops. Foo's looking poor. He's probably going to drop next. Cameron's doing a... Yeah, they got Lord Archon on Cameron's side. This is a mess.
3 down. Almost 4 down. The Fruit finally went down. So now Bob and Fruit, 2 linebackers down. The Black Knight finally goes down, carrying Yagami. And now he's as well just cleaning up Cameron's Highlanders. So that was definitely chaos.
Chaos, and I think there might have been a little bit of communication issue on Cameron's side as far as who to focus down. They had a couple mechs that, had they continued to keep their fire on them, they could have dropped Ace's numbers quicker, but they switched targets.
Yeah, also, they were focusing what looked like the Mistlinks, Sir Epic Poner. That's probably not the best choice as far as focus fire. There we go with Ace's Wild, making it 1-1.
So, we're keeping this competitive. I'll get us our nice fancy lobby stats here.
Yeah. Orbit Rain doing the most damage from that high point in his Hunchback. Looks like chat is asking for higher volume on my end, so let's see what I can do there.
I can bump you overall, or if you want to bump on your side, we have the controls.
Can you bump me a little bit on your end?
I can do that, and thank you for the request. That kind of feedback is what we need.
Yep, thank you. Looks like Fest 121.
All right, so
I'm doing the switch here. Did you want to get into anything?
Well, you did a quick highlight of damages and top performers, so now we've got the map up. We just saw the first drop. What do you... Teams are switching sides. Do you expect to see anything change this time around?
From the way the two teams have been playing, I'm gonna expect to see another brawl strategy from both sides. Like I said, Team 2 side, I believe, has the option of playing more of a control strategy, but that doesn't look anywhere near what these two teams are really looking to get into. Looks like they really love their medium pulse lasers and their SRMs. Let's see if that pays off for them here in the end.
Let's see here. Cheat sheet says Camerons might be trying to pull range, given that they're on the Team 2 start.
Oh, wow.
So, now, they note all in range to brawling range hybrids. So, might be interesting to look at mech builds.
Actually, yeah. So, as soon as we get into this next drop, we can actually go through mech by mech and see what they're bringing.
Yeah, and I apologize. I should have been doing that all along.
Hey, nobody's perfect.
What are you talking about? I got a certificate from my mom when I was 5 that said I'm a perfect little angel. I still have that stapled to the fridge.
For those that were wondering in that mining collector drop, every mech either had machine guns, SRMs, or medium pulse lasers. There was nothing else. And then about 1 billion UAVs and airstrikes.
UAVs, airstrikes are going to be huge through this whole series. And we saw the same thing with BFM. It's just too much power in a one-button press to not maximize it. Yeah, a little bit more shuffling around on Cameron's side. Aces is locked in. I'm actually going to take a peek at chat because I haven't had a chance to.
Also, remember, guys, after this, we are going to be doing the live map banning for drops 4 and 5.
And hopefully you've all been following MRBC League, so when we do MC giveaways, you're qualifying for them.
Yeah, when is our first giveaway going to be?
I think we can do that while setting up for the map ban, because I suspect there's going to be a little bit of time delay, because this is going to be the first time for everyone going through the process. So, oh, Cameron Highlanders is locked in, so we're going to be rolling here shortly.
Alrighty.
Staring at a loading screen.
And here we go.
Oh, there we go. Hype in-game chat. There better be hype in the regular chat, or I'm going to be seriously upset.
So, did you want to go over what Cameron's Highlanders has on their max for this one?
Alright. So the fun part is, I got to remember how to pull up.
Just press P to click on and then hit enter.
Thank you, sir. Alright, so we're already changing things up. Tiger Lily is sporting a classic 2PPC Hunchback 2C. We got a 5 medium pulse Vulcan. Irby K9, 5 medium pulse, that's evil. And gonna go catch up while everyone runs up here. An assassin, Mistlinks. What have I missed? We've got a summoner, another hunchback, grasshopper on Cameron's side. Mistlinks, of course, sporting machine guns, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, the grasshopper has 3 large lasers and a bunch of medium lasers. So
okay.
Aces Wild is actually doing something a little similar to what Cameron's Highlanders did in the first drop, taking piranhas and linebackers and assassins coming in. Except they're actually bringing in 2 bushwhackers and some of my favorite mech, the Hunchback 2C, with 2 UAC-20s each. So they're really looking to do a whole lot of damage with this.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got kind of a spread matchup.
Yeah,
Kieran goes down first.
Yeah, you got surrounded there and just taking too many shots in the back. Lord Archon's doing some great damage onto the Fu with the Mistlinks onto the Hunchbacks. And the Fu goes down from Deriku with PPC shots.
Yeah, Archon's kind of being left alone.
And Sir Epic Poner blows himself up from heat in the K9.
Aces is not impressed with this range game. They very effectively corralled Cameron's, and
yeah, Tiger Lily was just out of the fight this whole time due to Aces Wild's positioning. And there's Lord Archon getting surrounded by Silent Nova. Oh, leg the Piranha, and he himself got leg there. So Dereku's still on top with the Hunchback 2C. I think he's actually the medium pulse Hunchback. So we didn't have 2 PPC Hunchbacks. Looks like they had a PPC Summoner and a PPC Hunchback.
yeah, this is 6 medium pulse. That strike got a bit of him. Now is he?
Go ahead.
Can't quite tell with all the UAVs if he's technically in the circle or not.
I don't think anybody's in the circle right now. Nobody's in the circle.
I'm kind of surprised Cameron's just doesn't park someone, because they've got the numbers. Blood Eagle takes a bit of a hit. Down to 50. Orbit and Tiger Lily effectively undamaged, but also not really putting down damage. Dereku's looking hurt.
Yeah, he's looking real bad. It is to note that the most of the team for most of the blue team here does not have jump jets, so actually getting up top to shoot Dereku is going to be a difficult task, as well as the Hunchback and the Summoner there. So the Bushwhackers have SRMs, Linebacker has SRMs, the Hunchback has UR-20s, and he just went down. That was their one shot for killing Dereku pretty easily. And the Grinner, oh wow, I guess I'm wrong again. The Grinner shoots down Dereku in the back there.
Yeah, so meanwhile, Aces does have one assassin just parked in a corner, safely out of the fire, counting that clock down. Cameron's has to do something. They've either got to drop down and get in the circle. So it looks like Tiger Lily's moving to get in the circle whilst keeping height advantage. But Bushwhacker can get the angle on him, and the assassin gets in a pot shot. We're down to Orbit. I don't think he can win it.
No, so Orbit's actually going to have to either keep hitting the assassin here to keep the clock from going down, or get into a spot he doesn't want to be in. As anywhere he's at, other than on top of that platform, he's going to be taking the SRM shots from the Linebacker, Bushwhacker, and Assassin, and the shot from the Grinner, and there goes Orbit right here.
Well played on Ace's part. I liked Cameron's idea, just didn't quite execute the way they were hoping.
No, so Ace did a really good job there.
Alright, do some quick bookkeeping.
Not Bob with 709 damage in the Linebacker. It's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. So I'll get the pretty display up. Meanwhile, we are now into the map ban portion of the fun. So I'm going to get... Y'all just got a sneak peek of what it's going to look like. So I've got the stats overview up for the last match. I'm going to politely request that the teams give us a moment while we figure out the map ban. We're going to do one 1000 MC giveaway, do the map ban, and then we start drops 4 and 5. At the end, we'll do the last MC giveaway. And you're right on top of it, getting them aware of what's going on. Brilliant. Let's take a look at chat and see what's going on. I see hype in chat. Literally the word hype. I mean, you know, if that's what I ask for and that's what I get, I can't really complain.
No, I think you're right.
So, you know, just to clarify, when I say hype, cheer for your preferred team. But, yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Paying respects there.
All right, so...
Need to get them into the website for the map ban, correct?
They should have the links. Let me check on chat to make sure they're not in a panic. Nope. Orbit's right on top of things. And being told caster volume is still a little low. So I'm going to give you a bit more juice.
Yeah, it's my voice. My apologies.
That's okay. I've still got room to go on the volume knob before I tell you to start screaming. All right, so. I'm going to finish setting up the giveaway. Clear. We're going to load MWO leagues. Okay. So, this says I've got 61 people potentially in the contest. As usual, we know that this tool is great at picking out the bots, and I'm not.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
We gotta take our own names out of here too, right?
Oh, we can't win?
I'm not sure.
I'm just gonna re-roll if we win. We can have fun with it.
That's fine.
It's more fun to get people excited because then they can yell rigged at us. So let's see who's a bot. I mean, who wins 1,000 MC? Okay, that name is not one I recognize. Doesn't jump out at me immediately as a bot. So now comes the fun. Let's see if they're a follower. And the other bit is, where do I potentially... I had that list. Huh, okay. I can't actually see who's following at the moment. Because, you know, that would make things easy. In any case, the instructions are on the screen. You have to whisper Curl on TV to get your code. If you don't whisper me, I won't track you down. Last year in Battle for Midway, I had a bunch of codes that I had to give back because people didn't message me. It's real easy to whisper in Twitch. Heck, find me on Discord. But you have to come to me and you have to prove that you are spare time. So I'm going to make note of that name. Next up is to see if we've got map banning figured out. So for this year's MOR 8s, the last two drops are going to be based on one of these 5 maps: Alpine Peaks, River City, Rubelite Oasis, Terra Firma, or Verdian Bog. The teams go back and forth banning until one map remains. That's what we battle on. We have this wonderful new tool so that we can actually show the map banning live. Now the fun part is, can we make it work? So if you don't mind chatting up the folks, I'm going to see if I can run these people through the ban and get something to happen on screen.
So For those of you that are not playing in the MORs, it is something you might want to look into. Teams are still able to add on additional players. It doesn't really matter on what your level of play is, tier 5 down to tier 1. There are actually people teams, for example, that love to take new players in and teach them and show them the ropes. Really, it is the fastest way to learn the game and to get better at the game. And for example, I went from being a Div D, Div E, Div F player to I'm in Div B now, just from practicing with my team. And it looks like we've done the bands here. Cameron's Highlanders banned River City and Viridian Bog. Ace's Wild banned Alpine Peaks and Terra Firma. And it looks like Rubelite Oasis is going to be our map for drops 4 and 5. So this is probably, in my opinion, one of the better maps that are available on this last couple of games here. I would like to see how this kind of pans out through the rest of the event, as these 5 maps are going to be in the ban rotation, I believe, for the weeks to come as well.
Correct. There is some talk that if PGI does deliver on getting us some of the classic maps, we may work the classic maps either into ban rotation or the regular rotation, but that's not locked in yet. But yeah, so there's our live map ban. Again, another fun new tool we've got this year.
Right.
Nice thing with this format is each team can basically plan on 2 maps they don't want to bother planning out, but that still leaves 3 maps you got to have contingency plans for, no matter what. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Hopefully, this isn't Rubelite Oasis is always the one chosen, like we've seen in some other series where we fixate on one map. But we're still in the first week, so anything goes.
Say, yeah, if we do, however, have Rubelite Oasis as the last map, maybe something PGI wants to take a look at as to why all the players are picking the same map over and over again.
So we are back to full conquest, and we have decided it is Rubelite Oasis. So if the map tool will update, there we go. This is what we're about to be doing. And again, teams get 2 chances at this, 1 from each side, so if any map has a bias, like Mining Collective does, they both get an equal opportunity in it.
So I will say, go ahead.
I was going to say, as a reminder, they're allowed up to 480 tons. There is no minimum, but they are only allowed a max of 3 mechs in a given class. So across 8 mechs, that means you're going to see 3 weight classes per team, minimum.
Taking a look at the map here, I'm going to add the grids to it. There is to note a few good places if they wanted to start taking control of the map. Is Echo 4 Ridgeline right here. From Team 1 side, actually has a pretty decent view over most of the map. However, it is to note that Theta is actually angled a bit. Like this ridgeline down here, this is a hill that can actually only be viewed from Team 2's side. So it's going to make positioning be a little bit strange if Team 1 wants to start doing a control strategy. Really, I'd like to really see what these 2 teams end up with.
Yeah, when we were doing 3-cap in the past, in 6v6, we tended to typically ignore the caps, and it's a color that green's going to stand out. Typically, we'd end up in brawling in. Come on. My touchpad has decided it hates me. We end up brawling around here. A couple good spots where both teams could run up, collide, and have a good time. I don't think we're going to see that with the 5 cap. It's just, even with max tonnage being at 480, I don't think the speed is there to just completely ignore caps. So
I completely agree with you. So with 480 tons, you're just heavy enough that you want to start taking the bigger, slower mechs. But you're light enough that this is probably going to end up as a cap race. Maybe we'll see a couple of fleas, or I think both teams have used all 3 of a lot of piranha. But maybe like something weird like a Pirate's Bane, Locust, or some fleas or spiders to go around and cap. It has been noted that I believe Cameron's Highlanders did bring their spider on the only other cap map on this set already. And it looks like both teams are actually locked, about to launch this one.
Excellent, and I appreciate both teams being ready to roll right out of the gate. That makes life easier for us streaming. So yeah, Cameron's does still have a Spider 5e they can bring. Which on this map, you've got plenty of paths you can run with good cover. May not be a bad idea. Switch over to the lobby. And rediscover why I normally do not play MechWarrior with all the settings turned up. Just look, how are you supposed to see like this? This is ridiculous.
All right, taking a look here at Aces Wild, I don't actually see a spider on either team, so...
Command coming in. Capture and hold.
Yeah, Aces...
Get in your way.
This is horrible. I can never remember what BAS is.
It's a blood ass. So
Blood Ass, Arctic Cheetah, Ebon Jag, Arctic Cheetah, Ebon Jag.
Enemy forces have
They seem to like those. Speed Bucket, they're bringing a Trebuchet. Mad Cat 2B, and a Quick Draw. IV4 again. Seems to be really popular so far.
Yep, and it is to note that Trebuchet does have MRMs on it. I got excited for a minute and thought I saw LRMs on a Trebuchet. It is actually a very good LRM mech. And we all know Chris loves LRMs, so... but we haven't actually seen any in this entire match so far. Looking from Cameron's Highlander side, they're taking a pretty similar drop deck to Aces Wild. Mad Cat 2-Bs with Ultra 5s and Ultra 10s. They're taking that IV4 again. It's been a pretty good mech for them so far. It's MRM 40 and MRM 20. And I actually think they took a light killer. It's Arctic Wolf with Flamers and Streaks.
Okay. I like Flamers on this map. For a while, my go-to mech for Rubelite was Griffin 2N. Flamers and SRMs.
Yeah, and we're actually seeing a fight here on Kappa like you predicted.
Already have one of the Arctic Cheetahs for Aces Wild legged.
Yeah, he was standing out in the open and was actually able to get shot at by the Quick Draw. Not Quick Draw, but the Grasshopper with the AR largest.
So that's not an auspicious start for Aces.
So if they were planning on having a cap strat game, having one of their lights legged, 2 minutes into the drop, that's definitely not what they're looking for.
Cameron's putting a good hurt on Aces up top here. So far, Cameron's winning the trades.
Yeah, not Bob already down to 58% in his med kit.
He lost anything on that yet. No, still fully functional, but arm is open. UAVs up and down.
Yeah, Kalen Firestar on in a 7 jag. So actually just got halved and just got struck twice from the same artillery strike and went down to Sir Epic Boner.
Yeah, I don't think that was a really strong peeking position for him.
Now peeking into the into the Arctic Wolf and the Quick Draws, definitely a hindrance. And now Orbit Ray and in his Streak Arctic Wolf has set his sights on an Arctic Cheetah. This is definitely not where you want to be as Arctic Cheetah.
And Not Bob in the Mad Cat getting opened up hard when he dropped down and exposed himself to Cameron's Hymex up there. I'm not liking this positioning or moving by Aces.
No, I'm gonna have to agree with you here. The Cameron's Highlanders is just dominating on the high ground. So Aces Wild decided to drop down to try and mitigate some of that damage, but now they're just sitting here out in the open, allowing themselves to get shot at. So Kira Nagami's still up top, but the Mad Cat 2B has those arm-mounted weaponry. It can just look right down on the Nabob and kill him there.
Clutch Nixon is about to get focused. Meanwhile, Fu goes down the trebuchet, so I'm in the wrong spot for that. Yeah, they were circling around the low ground. There wasn't much they were going to be able to do.
That's all.
Clutch
the lights
goes
down
down
for Aces Wild. Blood Eagle and the IV4 is the only one left available. And he's not looking in a good spot with two Mad Cat 2Bs looking right at him when he goes down. 8-0 victory for Cameron's Highlanders. That's the biggest victory that we've had by either team on today.
And that was a victory they needed. That keeps it interesting. We're actually fairly even overall now. 2 wins each side, 21 kills for Cameron's Highlanders versus 20 for Aces. You predicted a close fight. You're getting it.
Oh, yeah. So 2-2 going into the last drop here. Talking about the scoring system here for MOR, it's going to be very similar to Battle for Midway. You're going to get 1 point for a loss and 3 points for a win per drop. So every drop is actually going to matter here. So right now we're actually looking at 2 wins for both teams and 2 losses. So 8 points each right now.
Bring up the pretty stats for that match. So looking at the damage numbers, Aces never really got in a position that they could put down consistent damage. They pretty much lost most of their trades, other than Alex and the Bloodass with 689. On the other hand, looking at the damage spread for Cameron's, there's no big standout high damage, but they were all effective. So 300s, high 200s, they all did their job.
So the biggest thing to note there was, if you're looking at the map, Cameron's Highlanders actually was standing out in the open on top, and Aces Wild was actually trying to use the cover and peek and poke. And because of that, anytime they were peeking and poking, they weren't doing it together as a unit. They were trying to peek and poke as each individual mech's cooldowns were coming down. So as soon as they would poke out, Cameron's Highlanders were already out. They didn't have to move, and it could just open fire on whatever came out. And you could really see that in the match here, as one by one Aces Wild mechs would poke, die, or get halved, and then go back into cover. And then the next one would come out, and the same thing would happen to it. So I'm not sure if they kind of clammed up after the light mech got legged, but I mean, really, I'd like to see them have a little bit more mobility and team cohesiveness there in the drop.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to talk to them about after, if they're available. It just didn't feel like they had a plan that match. Or, as you noted, once they lost their light that early on, the plan collapsed. Some of their mech movement was just... didn't feel coordinated.
I agree with you.
I like Cameron's positioning with the 4 mechs up on that platform. It's not a place I would think to set up because there's no buildings or anything that you can position to for cover. But with the 4 of them up there all playing Overwatch, they didn't really need cover because Aces never set up in a position long enough to effectively trade. So, interesting play on their part.
Yeah, it really is. I'm not sure if it's something that they had planned to do initially, or if they just did that because they saw Aces Wild coming out one at a time at them for some trades. But whatever it was a good call for them to just stay there out in the open.
Oh, so yeah, I'm gonna have to end the stream now. Apparently, there's popcorn and cookies in the lobby chat. So to heck with you guys. That's half the fun, is granted. As I said earlier, I don't let you guys see the lobby, so there's a little bit of mystery as to where people are going to drop, because that in itself can give away a lot of how a match is going to roll. But it does mean you miss the lobby chat. Sometimes there's stuff that you shouldn't see. It should stay private to the teams, but this is just entertaining. Take a quick look at chat. And people are being active. Excellent. So yeah, mostly we're just waiting for teams to get flipped around, figure out who's going to do what. Looks like Aces has got one person off, possibly sorting a mech, or they're swapping someone in. So we got a little bit of a delay. Which, you know, if we got a delay, this might be a good time to give stuff away. What do you think?
I think you're right.
So, let's pull the tool back up. We're going to clear, re-add. We're up to 67 viewers now, probably all of them bots. So, same routine as before. Whoever's name is drawn, if I don't immediately recognize you as a bot or one of the streamers, your job is to whisper me on Twitch to get a code. I'm not chasing you down. Let's see who wins. This is for 1000 MC. I have to try and pronounce that.
Banana Nanan?
I think there might be an extra nenin in there. But another one I don't immediately recognize as a bot. So, banana nanin, follow the channel, send me a whisper, you get 1000 MC. It's a simple process. We try and make things easy. And we're also about halfway towards the target number to give away a copy of BattleTech. And a little over a third of the way to giving away MechWarrior 5. So
if you guys all have a bunch of friends Everybody that's on right now, get a friend that's not on, and then come in and follow, and we'll give away MechWarrior 5. That'll give us enough viewers for the giveaway.
So, I actually did get a whisper from Spare Time. And I got a whisper from Slitherman54 saying hello. Hello, Slitherman. I have no idea who you are, but nice to see you. So, just gonna wait on Banana Man to... Nan.
Nan.
You know how hard it is to resist going into the Batman theme with that name? I'm having to actively hold myself back. And I'll manage to do it. So as soon as he whispers me, I can get him a code as well. And just... Oh, wait, wrong mech. So they're still shuffling things around. Remember what I said about them being all nice and organized for us before? It's out the window now. I'm officially taking away internet points. I lost track of what the total was, but it's now less.
It's like we're missing somebody on Ace's Wild side in the lobby, so it's taking a little bit longer.
Yep, I think it's... Sounds like it's some Mech Lab shenanigans. So, while we wait for them... I mean, we've seen the map. Sides are flipped. I've got no cheater notes from Cameron's Highlanders. Apparently they didn't think we'd like to know what's going to happen based on 3 potential maps they could run for 2 different drops. I mean, gosh, where's the planning?
I would like to point this out. So, Cameron's Highlanders did give us their draws list information for each team. So, well, for their team, and I went ahead and pulled them up for the Aces Wild team. If you compare the two, the average percentile scores for Aces Wild is 69.77%, with Cameron's Highlanders at around the 85th percentile. That just goes to show you that the Yarls list percentage does not matter really that much for individual prowess here in the competitive scene. So if you're scoring a little bit lower than you'd like to, just joining a competitive team, your scores will go up eventually as you get better at the game. But 2, you're still going to be an effective part of a team without having to have, be in the 99th percentile of the players in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we could, for humor value, pull my Jarl's list rank up. It's not impressive, but I still feel effective with the squad I'm with. It's both just regular team play and comp. The biggest thing is communication and trusting your teammates. If you can get that down, the skill comes along as you play. Not everyone can sit there and precisely dial in exactly what component they're going to hit at 2.5 kilometers with a targeting computer boosted Gauss rifle setup from hell. You don't need to be effective. So it's find a group, start playing with them. Really all you got to do. Don't worry about the stats at the start. If you want to find a group, jump on the MWO Discord, MWO Comp Discord. We'll help you find people. There's streamers that'll get you going, teams that'll happily work with you. Come play.
Yeah, I agree. So we're actually getting into this 5th drop here. As we go into it, I'd like to again thank Cameron Highlanders for this caster info sheet. And it's really been helpful really knowing which My Little Pony character they associate themselves with has been very helpful. For those that didn't know, Orbit Rain really thinks he's Twilight Sparkle. So,
and it comes out in his gameplay. That's the part that's really impressive to me. All right.
Command coming in. Capture.
speaking about Orbit Rain, he's actually in a Commando 2D this game, and they have the Spider 5V as well. So they, if I had to guess, if I was a bet man, I'd say they're going for a cap strategy this match.
All right, looking at Aces Wild. We got a Cyclops, Orion 2C, Hunchback 2C, Orion 2C, Orion 2C, Huntsman, Flea, Wolfhound. I think they want to smash face.
Yeah, so the Flea is definitely something that's a little bit confusing here. They're looking to smash face, but then they have the Flea, who is probably going to be wanting to go around to Cap. It looks like he's going to Epsilon right now, Silent Noble. And yep, he is. So Cameron's Highlanders are actually taking a little bit longer range with a Nova Cat, Night Gear, Jade Kite. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen that in comp before. A Battlemaster 1G with the R-Larges, Warhawk Prime with the RPBCs, and what's that? Mad Cat 2B with DACA. So well, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, this season allowing heroes in is getting new mechs to show up, and I agree with the decision. With the way PGI has been giving out MC and mechs in events, really isn't pay to win like it used to be. Pretty much everyone's got good opportunities to get those heroes that do stand out.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you there.
it's nice to see that variation in play show up as a result. So both sides kind of avoiding each other at the moment. We've got a bit of a rotation on opposite ends of the map. They're just kind of circling around. Cameron's set up with some high overwatch near Theta.
Yeah,
Aces is low ground and just trolling past Kappa.
So it is to note, like I said before, Game 4, this Echo 4 high ground where Cameron Highlanders is, it's a pretty good place to actually set up a couple of guys with long range weaponry to control the middle of the map. However, I will say you don't really get a nice view of Theta from this, because if you look at it, it's angled away from them. So that, and you really don't get control of Epsilon or Kappa from that high ground if everybody on your team is there. So that's probably why they're actually moving across a little bit here.
Yeah. So Davik for Aces, providing some intel. Had a pretty good look at what Cameron's was up to. Meanwhile, Flea is off doing Flea things.
And Orbit Rain just got to look at the whole enemy team here.
So Light's doing their job. Aces knows where they are, what the layout is. Now let's see how they respond. They're all staying low this time.
It looks like Ace of Wild is pushing out underneath here towards Theta. And they're stopping. Actually trying to get a lock-in on Tiger Lily. They threw some UAVs up to look up top.
Yeah, I think they want to control the encounter a bit more after that last match, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't blame him either.
Tiger's a little brave. With the 5V, he doesn't have to stay there very long, but he's about to get quad LBXs to the face.
Yeah, it was really...
Manages to turn the cap point off at least, and didn't really take that much damage to do it.
Kappa is under enemy control.
definitely being annoying.
Yeah, and pulled back 3 Orion 2Cs and a Huntsman. 2 of them are going hunting, which I like the flags on Not Bob. That is excellent camo, sir. My eyes are bleeding with the color choice. I'm probably gonna have to recalibrate my monitor after.
Actually, I haven't seen any real mechs for They're looking good here. Derek's Battlemaster actually doesn't look terrible.
Silent Noble has been spotted by Orbit and Lord Archon and is trying to book down to 77%. The Piranha is... There goes a leg.
I think we have a candidate for best mech here.
Oh?
Not Bob's Orion. From the front here.
Orbit getting a cap. All right. Well, I will see if I can find Not Bob while we're just kind of wandering around. No real heavy engagement. Yeah, Not Bob's the one I mentioned, that between the popping eye colors, the flags, excellent use of decals, that hurts to look at. My compliments. Meanwhile, this is kind of a cap stalemate. Cameron's has 3 caps to Ace's 2. Ticket lead really isn't outrageous for Cameron's yet, so there's no real sense of urgency.
It is to note the Piranha, Lord Archon, took out Silent Noble pretty easily.
Yeah, and we got to see that. Archon wasn't solo. He did have Orbit Rain in the rear for backup on that, so the Flea had no choice but to bail. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to do it before that Piranha chewed a leg up. Foo taking some long distance fire from Camerons, who once again have set up high.
Yeah, so the Cameron's Highlanders really needs to get on and do something here. They're going to be the cap points are going to pressure them into pushing into Cameron's Highlanders.
Well, they've just gone 4 cap. Aces has split up. Yeah, this is Cameron's is mostly grouped. Actually, I think they're doing right by setting up and waiting again. This is what got Aces into trouble last time.
It is. So Cameron's Highlanders effectively doesn't have to do anything else in this game to win. So Cameron's Highlanders really need to figure out what they're going to do here. And all 3 of the Orions being on Sigma, it does not bode well for them. Is by the time they actually get into a fight, even at a 3-2 cap, they're going to be well up to like 600 to 650 points on Cameron's Highlander side.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem with Aces is looking at those Orions, LB-20s and SRMs. They cannot deal with...
Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that was the right time to interrupt. Davik getting beat up by Orbit and Tiger.
So I will note the Commando is a really tanky 25-ton mech, but that Wolfhound can also take a beating. Looking to see what he prioritizes as damaging. And
there's your LRMs.
That's a Nova Cat from White Tiger. He's running 6 LRM-15, so yeah, Davik just getting taken out from the LRMs, and then the Commando shooting at his legs.
I believe he's lost a leg, yep, and the other leg is open. He's not long for this world. Stop playing with your food, Orbit. There we go. Oh, self-destruct.
Yep.
That's not how you want to lose a mech.
So it looks like some of the Orions are actually getting in over here onto... they're underneath Cameron's Highlanders right now.
They do not have the pitch to do anything. I've tried running that Orion 2C build on this map, and that valley they're going into is a death trap for Orions.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron's is backing off and going wide. They don't want to get anywhere near those Orions, and I don't blame them. These 2 are by themselves. Aces is all over the map.
Here comes the LRMs from the Nova Cat again, while they're moving in on the AC, or the Ultra AC2 Jade Kite Night Gear. It's 6 Ultra 2s for those.
And the lights have found Alex. He's not long for this world. Although they get the Night Gyre.
This is definitely Cameron's Highlanders game to really shine here. There's not a whole lot of combat action here, but the combat that did happen was 100% in Cameron's Highlanders' favor the entire time.
And, well, we don't see that often. We capped out.
Yeah. So looking at the damage scores, several of the members of both teams didn't do any damage. One of the Orions and the Cyclops even doing single-digit damage. That's just because Aces Wild didn't feel that pushing into the long range strategy of Cameron's Highlanders would be effective. And Cameron's Highlanders, I think, counted on that and brought in that spider and the piranha to go around and capture those points. It was a good job by Cameron's.
Good job by Cameron's. It was just a really slow match. And if Aces had been better on recapping points, that wait-and-see strategy might have played out for them, but I just didn't feel like they were built for wait-and-see strategy with 3 Orion 2Cs.
So I will note that in Battle for Midway this past season, the Cameron's Highlanders and Aces Wild were in the same division, and Aces Wild actually lost. Aces Wild took 4th and Highlanders took 5th in the division. So Cameron's Highlanders actually have been putting a lot of practice in, as you can see, and it looks like it paid off. A 3-2 victory over Aces Wild. That is 11 points to 9 points for those that were wanting to follow along there.
Good way to start the season.
I agree.
So, we've given away stuff. We've hyped up the other giveaways. We've given Cameron's bonus points for this awesome caster info sheet. And I think we're going to get some interviews.
Nice.
So, all right, we're going to have Tiger, Not Bob, and Cal on. So, I am going to switch us over to standby screen. So I got to monkey with audio a little bit to pull this off. And we will join everyone in a moment once we've got people in to chat with us. So, if I've pushed the right buttons, we should all be in here on chat. You guys mind introducing yourselves?
I'm Tiger Lily with Cameron's Highlanders.
Kellen Farstar with Aces Wild.
And not Bob from Aces Wild.
And as everyone should know at this point, Curlon and Seabiscuit
Hello.
from Stream Team. So, fun set of matches. Was very entertaining to watch from our side.
It was fun to play as well.
It was very stressful from our side, I'll say that.
Not supposed to be stressful. Oh, okay, so it's supposed to be a little bit of stress, but it should be overall fun, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty good even matchup, I thought. I like a 3-2 or 2-3, you know, like not a
Yeah,
Not
this
a
wasn't a
final
blowout.
yeah.
This was
Yeah,
a good
no.
fight. You couldn't call it till the end. So that's
I'll take that every time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
when-
definitely came down to teams making mistakes and the other team capitalizing versus just raw skill.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Carl and I were actually talking at the beginning of the match, trying to figure out who was actually favored here. And my prediction was that it was going to be a really close fight between these. And I was right.
Yeah, Aces Wild and CH has always been pretty close in a lot of our matches.
Yeah, even in the quick play, it's always, always
Yeah.
close games.
Yeah,
We
Go ahead.
started out our new year doing like scrims, and Aces Wild was the first people we contacted. So that was pretty fun. I mean, kind of got us in the mindset, and we started doing our regular practices, and it was good. It was good.
Yeah, so actually looking through here, if I recall, your first scrim was against Aces Wild, and you actually didn't win any drops during the scrim, and you lost to Aces Wild in Battle for Midway last season.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good games there too. We kind of, at least on our end, we've kind of started to take things a little more seriously. So we've actually taken a chance to like divide up into two teams and tackle two different divisions. So that's always kind of a minefield, you know, of like not trying to offend anybody, but you also want to put all your best on one team. And but we're excited to like support our other guys too, and it's going to be a pretty good time.
Yeah, we're actually in kind of the same situation. We actually have two teams as well. One of our teams just played last night. And during our scrim, we kind of mixed both our teams together and just had everyone on one big group there. This match, we have a bunch of, like, I think we have 4 or 5 new guys, 100% new to comp. And then there's like 3 of them completely new to the game that wanted to try out and see what comp was for. We're throwing them in the mix, and it was kind of fun. Just getting them used to it. They had a good time. They're like, oh, okay, so this is how it rolls.
nice.
Yeah, comp is definitely a lot different than quick play or faction play, and it's actually my favorite mode of play personally.
I'll
Yeah,
agree with that.
Yeah, Not Bob and I definitely enjoy the comp games a lot more, I think, these days. And with the new guys too, we struggle a little bit with the depth of their mech bays, but we're working on training them, helping them get those built up, and then utilizing them on the teams.
Yeah, fortunately, if players are willing to grind and do the events, it seems like it's been easier to get C-bills and MC lately, which has definitely helped. A lot newer players are coming into better mechs quicker now.
Yeah, we have a bunch of MC codes that I think we got from World Championship or something, and we kind of use those as incentives. So if people come do enough practices in a row, they get so many tickets for a drawing and that kind of stuff internally. So we've been trying to do that not only to get people to come to practice and make sure that it's like a regular thing, but also like so we can give that to newer members and they can do something with it.
Very
Actually,
cool.
a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I've seen other units doing similar. I hang out with a lot of the Davian crowd, so that tends to be where my experience comes from. Watching HHOD, they tend to have just random competitions periodically to keep people active and as an excuse to throw out codes as they collect them as well.
Yeah.
It seems to work well. So, looking over the results, Cameron got the first match. Looking at the lovely cheat sheet that we got prior to the match from Cameron's. So, You guys got full internet points from me on this. This is awesome. It was great. You claimed that you were coming into this expecting to run a cap control game, and that's what you did quite effectively.
Yeah, we're in love with that spider. I mean, I know it's kind of just a weird. It's a one-trick pony, but it gets the job done. It collects those caps like so freaking fast.
It also totally screwed up our two Arctic wolves that were trying to hunt it down, and it kept them out of the fight, which was, I think, a significant part of that.
Yeah, we definitely took advantage of that a lot. We practiced Ruby a lot and did the cap control strategy a lot. And a lot of times people would be chasing the spider and it would just jump across a whole chasm. And, that like the piranha and the commander were just left there like, well, now what? So it's like...
Right, and Arctic wolves didn't have the jump jet power to be able to deal with that. But we did get a couple good shots off on him, but he was gone by the time that we had a chance to do our second volley.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your match one, Cameron's Highlanders, did seem to pay off. You're expecting Aces Wild to do a pretty hard death ball brawl push, and you did counter that fairly well. Match 2 and 3, however, didn't really work out in your favor. Was the Black Knight as good as it had been in your practices?
I'm sure it did fine. I think it's just that Aces Wild did really well at like brawling. That's just their arena, man. We just got killed in it. So
yeah, I think on that first one, to that point, first one, we made a couple mistakes on that one. We had an intel that said, "Oh, hey, they're all here." Turns out it was just like two of you guys. Like, oh, well, this is kind of awkward. Because initially our plan was to kind of push Theta around Retard Rock, all around that area, and control that. And I think that would have worked out, but we had intel like, hey, we got a couple big guys here. I'm like, sweet, let's take them out if they're split. Turns out we split ourselves up, and we kind of just paid for it there. So that was good job capitalizing our mistakes, and we got pushed into like a really awkward area to try and trade across the range. And it's just like, well, just make the best of what we can do here. So just try to do what we could, but it was kind of painful for us.
Yeah, but when we got to mining, it was back in your arena. You guys were really good at brawling, so.
Yeah, and that first mining collective match, we saw that your quick draw was kind of off on his own, and we jumped up and over and out of the castle right on top of him, and I felt so bad for that. And then we just continued to sweep from there right into your main body and one after another, and it worked out pretty good. You had a hunchback up high that actually was in a good snipe spot that took us a little while to take.
Yeah, not bringing jump check mets onto Mining Collective does have its disadvantages. That hunchback was able to shoot pretty freely for most of.
But it did suck that piranha had light machine guns to reach out and touch him when he was up there. So that kind of at the end. We were kind of surprised there.
Yeah. I think we just kind of played the libero. You guys probably should have won that one. Just the position was weird, and I think a couple guys dropped in spots they didn't mean to drop, and we just capitalized on the mistakes that were made on that map where you capitalized on mistakes previously.
Yeah, I mean, the snowball starts to build, and I think it took us a long time to get that first linebacker down, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the going into drop 4 here, it looked like it was going to be a pretty good match right from the start. And then Cameron's Highlanders just kind of stood out in the open on top of the building. And Aces Wild looks like you were just trying to trade with them. But looked like you're trading one at a time instead of as a team. And with Cameron Highlanders just kind of standing out there in the open, they were just able to pick you guys off one at a time as you were trading.
Yeah, so realized this mistake pretty earlier on because we had M-Jags with me and Pulse. They didn't really have the range to touch with them out there. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, well, I guess we're going to go around the backside and drop down. Unfortunately, our Blood Ass didn't come with us. He got stuck up there, so he got alive alone. And then the rest of us who were down low just couldn't trade with them, and it just ended up being really unfortunate for all of us. So we just got crushed. That
light battle over at the, was it Kappa, I think? It was kind of nice because up on that corner, we were able to cover from all the way on that corner with what we had. So I think we were able to do a little extra chip damage to the legs, and we were able to leg that light pretty quickly. And then
whoever was in the Grasshopper legging the Arctic Cheetah right on Kappa at the start. My guess was that Aces Wild was going to go with a cap strategy with those Arctic Cheetahs, and then when that Cheetah got legged, it just kind of threw you guys for a loop.
Exactly.
Did you have any questions for him specifically, Kermit?
No, actually, I've been enjoying just letting you guys have fun discuss with yourselves. Been poking at a couple things on the back end, so on drop 4, I believe. Were there communications issues on the Aces side?
No, it was more just we misplayed that part where they were. We saw where they were, and then we tried to push out, and then we realized that was a really, really horrible spot to try and trade. And then we tried to go back around. There was one small minor communication issue with Bless. I don't think he could have heard us through all the shots that he was taking and shooting out. Yeah, it just ended up that we just chose the worst spot to push with the wrong mech. So
Okay.
that's what ended up happening to us on that one.
Okay.
And they had like the full range deck. We had like mid range the whole time, where they were mostly long range. So we were outranged, and so the only guys that could poke, it would be like a 1-on-6 trade, and it just never ends well.
Question though, what were your thoughts on drop 5 whenever you realized that they were taking a all long range drop and actually set up across from you?
Yeah, so our initial plan was to kind of take our natural and have our Flea take the point opposite of us, and thinking, his speed should be able to get him out of trouble. And we were just kind of play the cap game, stay low with our big brawl deck there, our big disgusting brawl deck, which is beautiful. And we're trying to just keep the low ground, go between like 1 or 2 cap points, and then kind of force an engagement eventually once we get cap lead. Unfortunately, our Flea got eaten up by a piranha. So our strategy kind of fell apart there, and it's like, all right, well, now our Flea's dead, and we only have 1 light left, so we kind of had to split up our guys. We had another little communication issue with our Hunchback 2C. I think he was supposed to. I tried to call for him to stay back, but I think he was distracted, staring at somebody's butt, because huntsmen are kind of cute. so he got distracted, and he wasn't able to go back and support our Wolfhound on cap where we were just set up, and then we lost our other light mech. It's like, all right, well, we have our 2 main forces on opposite sides of the map. We're just going to send 2 of our Orions up and just try and at least decap Theta or hit one of the guys. And then by that time, it's like, all right, well, it's too late, so we might as well just do a little bit of damage, because we were too far behind on caps to catch up at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, and initially it was going to be a cap game and then forced engagement with a brawl.
So you guys dropped underweight on the canyon drop, right?
Yeah.
We did too, by about 30 tons. You guys were all the way down at 575?
Yeah, we were at the low end.
Cool. That's interesting that we both went under a tonnage.
Yeah.
I don't think that was fully intentional on our part. I think we looked at the minimum and thought that was the minimum.
It was. I kind of just messed up. I said, all right, 375, cool, that's what I need. Or 575, I was like, sweet, perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, didn't even read the maximum.
Yeah. Okay, it works out. I mean, it just naturally gives you faster mechs somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still though, that spider was well played. Give that pilot some kudos. He did a really good job keeping 2 Arctic Wolves
no problem.
Just totally wrapped up. Oh, was that you? Yeah.
No, yeah, that thing's fun as hell. I don't know.
It's still got like that 50% cap quirk, right? That's just nuts on it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got cap. It's got like 80% cap. Then you can get all the way up to 100 with quirks, and then it's got armor quirks on top of that on the legs, and it can go 165 with a max engine. So
exactly.
It jumps. Like, that thing is just crazy.
Yeah, definitely one of the most mobile mechs here.
Yeah.
He's drinking his jump jet fuel energy drinks, right?
Speaking of that, man, you guys are going to kick some ass on Solaris, that's for sure. With your brawl strength, man, that's going to be brutal for whoever's tested you guys.
It's actually fun enough, Cal and I actually do play Solaris 2s when there's a population there, and it's fun with these Orions. It's oof.
Yeah, we do all right with those.
Then even in solo, I had pretty good success season 2. I didn't play any last season though.
Yeah, it's just too bad that the population is so low on that. Both Not Bob and I really love Solaris, but we just don't get a chance.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up, Carlin and I talked a little bit about it so far. There is a beauty competition from Mex.
Oh, Nopop's gonna win.
Ooh, I have a chance is what you're saying.
Yeah. So I did want to bring up your Orion there in the last game there, not Bob.
I love it.
So due to Not Bob's stats as being our best 1v1 and duelist in the unit, he gets to choose whatever paint job he wants, and that's what he came up with.
Calvin cries every time he sees it. He's like, "Oh god,
oh man, oh man!" It's like, oh my unit, and they all look so good.
And then there's Not Bob.
But not Bob.
Well, if you look in the MOR-8's channel, I went ahead and put a screenshot of Not Bob's Orion there.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Well, and if I'm doing this correctly in a moment,
Oh, the backside's even better than that one.
Oh yeah, I didn't get a picture of that, the backside of it.
Oh.
I think Carlin might have gotten it on stream though. Yeah, so the three flags. I don't know if you know him that well. Stranger Come Knocking is a fan of making his mechs look like somebody threw paint out the window and it landed on something.
I see. I think of it more as an art form. You know, it's not ugly. It's beautiful, just in a really twisted sort of way.
so it is on stream now.
Excellent.
It is something else.
So there's always flocks of bees surrounding his mechs, as they can see in the ultraviolet spectrum, and they go like, "Ooh, that's a nice flower."
So take it. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say I try and paint all my mechs as beautifully as possible, and the Orion I think is my favorite one that I painted.
Well, it's definitely I think going to be submitted into the competition.
I like it.
Just keep a watch for more. He'll have more throughout the season.
Yeah. Also, I kind of wish Orbit was here, Tiger Lily.
I'll get him over here if you want.
No, I mean, in this caster info sheet, you guys put in which My Little Ponies you guys were affiliated with.
Nice.
That's good. That's good.
Nice.
So
I was
actually,
trying to figure out why he was Twilight Sparkle.
Yeah, that is, you know, we ask him that all the time, but he's pretty tight-lipped about it.
actually, it
Oh,
looks
by the
like
way,
Orbit
Tiger.
is.
Yeah.
Next time you have a secret cheat sheet, make sure you share it with us.
Well, I can't. It's got too many strategies on there.
I know. That's why I'm asking
All
for it.
All the elite strategies are laid right out there.
So I was actually joking with some others after I got the sheet that this is awesome. I'm half hoping that some of the stuff they've got on here, they're trolling me. I'm not fact-checking anything. So, actually a little disappointed that you were serious through the whole thing. I was totally expecting something in here about how Cameron Highlanders saved 4 orphans from a fire and...
Oh, yeah, that happened. That definitely happened. It was a faction play event. It was only for a couple hours, but we took care of that. Now I need to look at this document. I feel like there's a bunch that I'm missing out on.
Yeah.
You
So
should
unfortunately...
de-strat it and post the rest, because that sounds hilarious. That sounds like it needs to be shared.
What I may do is just make a rough template out of it and pass it around to the other groups, because basically by doing this, the bar has been raised for all the other teams now. So it's not just that, you go around and go, hey, can you stream our match? Well, what are you going to bring to us for it?
Here's
now we
the
got
question there.
I was just really glad to have you guys, casting like us in Div C. I know everyone wants to see kick asses and stuff, but I thought it'd be fun to just, throw some like facts about us and Aces Wild, our history and junk like that, and just kind of make some good fodder for the stream, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. We
this
really
is
do
what makes it
appreciate you
fun.
guys coming down.
Yeah, and for those that are listening that are not taking part in this, are you guys actually recruiting right now?
I think both of us are, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're always looking for pilots. We're one of the oldest communities in Mech Warrior Online. Cameron Highlanders are right there with us with how old we are. But yeah, we're always looking. We're Aces Wild ourselves. We're a semi-casual unit. We have some guys that want to do comp. Those are the guys you saw tonight and last night. Then we have a whole bunch of people that just want to like sit back, chug a beer or 7, and then play Mech Warrior.
Yeah,
what's
along the
like-
same lines. We like to do faction warfare. We like to do comp stuff. We do a lot of group drops throughout the week, and
Yeah, so for new players that are looking to really get on a team and have a good time, personally, I've played with the Aces Wild and Cameron Highlanders quite a bit. And I know you guys are a bunch of really fun guys, so just message Not Bob or Overrain or Tiger Lily, Callan Farstar, just let them know you're looking to join.
yeah, we'd love
Yeah.
to have you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, we're always looking for new players, especially guys that may have not played before and want to learn some stuff. And we're good with that. We have a lot of people dropping every night, about, I would say, anywhere from 12 to 24 almost every weekday night. So
I know
we have a lot.
What time
I've seen
zone?
You guys go ahead.
So, what's your most common time zone that you've got people
we
dropping?
have, and the way we set up our companies is actually to address time zones. So each company kind of has their own drop nights and times, and we basically start at about prime time East Coast all the way through late night Pacific, but we're definitely North American.
And I know that Aces Wild also does like role playing missions and stuff too.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have one whole company, and that's their sole focus. And our pilot Bouncin, he comes up with these crazy, awesome, elaborate role play games, and we're always looking for more people to come join that, and also even other units to be the opposition, which is
Yeah, there's fun little rules involved with it. Half the time it's stock, half the time it's semi-stock, half the time it's like custom, because what we just did recently was like a siege battle. So as the games went on and on, you take progressively less ammo or progressively less armor. Hey, maybe a weapon system broke, so you now can no longer take this weapon system. And so it's like a multi-night drop thing that's ever changing. So it's pretty fun to play. So we do all types of fun shenanigans like that. And then we also play dodgeball all the time, which is like that no armor medium mech with a Gauss rifle shooting everyone around. A lot of fun. We've played it with a whole bunch of people. It's great. So we do all sorts of random things here.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like NBT on steroids, the role-playing side.
Yep. We also do 1v1 tournaments within the unit too, and others.
Very cool.
With that mentioned, I did want to throw out the Goons are having a 1v1 tournament here now. I'm not sure if signups are over with.
So last I recall, on the 1v1 side, they're full with some
Yeah, they're
potential
full on
spots. 2v2, they have room.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're looking to do a 2v2 tournament, join the MWO Comp Discord. I believe that can be found below us here on Twitch. And then head over to the Goon 1v1 player hosted league.
And I believe Aces has got some comp stuff
Oh, yes.
up their sleeve.
Yeah, so coming up on May 1st, we are resurrecting the Inner Sphere Coalition. We started this, it was like 2013 or 14. We did a semi-competitive tournament. We had 34 teams that played. It was actually really fantastic. Everybody had a great time. And this year we're going to resurrect that season 2. Took a hiatus from it. And we're working out a lot of the details. I've got about 6 teams that have already signed up. And we're going to expect more as we get closer to May 1st. There's a lot going on with MOR, so we're letting that wind down as teams get ready to sign up. And we're also looking at finishing out, like fully fleshing out all the intimate details on the rules, and also probably for the first time in MW Comp history, I don't know if anybody else has done it, but using the Swiss system for seeding and then also setting up the matches.
Cool. Looking forward to it. I'm actually kind of hoping that my C4 HHOD guys resurrect Davian Strike Force and we make a go of it.
Nice.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Heck
because
yeah.
ISC Season 1 both had C4 and HHOD in it, so that'd be
Nice.
And we're definitely looking for streamers for that too, so it'd be great to have you guys as part of
That's a little nudge, wink, wink from Callan.
I think they were
He's not
looking at
very
you,
subtle.
Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
All right.
Cough, cough.
Yeah. On that note, I think we got to wrap it up. Otherwise, we're going to drive people nuts.
Thanks again, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you guys for
again
playing.
very much. And thank you, Cameron's Highlanders. Those are a fun set of matches.
Yeah,
that
no,
was
good job.
Good luck in the future.
You too.
All right. So
Now group drops.
that quick drops. I'm going to bed. I got work
Man.
tomorrow.
Sleep makes you weak, bro.
Absolutely. Who needs sleep anyways, man? It's only like 10 at night.
So, on that note, thank you, Seabiscuit, for co-casting. Awesome to have you.
Thank you.
Seat is yours whenever you want it. Look forward to seeing you start casting some of these on your own as well after last night's performance. You did awesome. So,
I appreciate it, man.
thank you, gentlemen, for sticking around and chatting with us.
Anytime.
For sure, for sure.
I'm going to call it a night. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Adios.
We
Thank
should
you all.
have more action on this channel tomorrow, I hope. Catch you all later.
Yep, see you.